Hi, my name is Ben. I'm a physical therapist here at Total Physical Therapy in Amarillo, and today we are going to be talking about a subject that I talk about a lot with my patients that have ligament sprains or muscle strains, and that is the acute stage of healing. The acute stage of healing can also be appropriately named the acute inflammation stage, as inflammation is predominant during this stage of healing. Typically, this stage lasts from the time of injury up to 4 to 7 days after injury, depending on the severity of the injury. What happens whenever we have inflammation is that you may experience some swelling, some redness, some stiffness, some pain in the area, and this is all very normal during this stage of healing. The purpose of it is that it's going to set up the future stages of healing. What do we mean by that? Well, during the inflammation stage, we get what's called vasodilation of the arteries. Basically, the arteries get bigger. This allows more blood flow to come to the area, which is important because whenever we start building structures, we need blood to come in and out of the area to carry building blocks to the area to build and also to take things away. During this stage of healing, we also get some digestion and breakdown of some of the damaged cells. And so some of that is happening where some of that is getting taken away. And so basically the inflammation stage is setting up our success in our future phases of healing. Some things to consider during this stage of healing is number one, rest. Now, rest can be taken a couple different ways. Depending on the severity of the injury, we need to be considering the term relative rest. What do we mean by that? Well, if someone has a very severe strain, relative rest may mean not doing very much, because if we do a little bit, it could aggravate the tissue. However, if we have a mild strain and it is able to still handle quite a bit of load, relative rest may mean that we are still able to do quite a bit with the tissue without risk of any further injury. Now, how much we rest is really dependent on how the injury is doing. In order to know how much to relatively rest, it'll be important for you to have a physical therapist or a doctor in your corner to help coach you through this process. Something else to consider would be that you can still work and train and develop other areas outside of the injured area. Just because we have an injury, say, in the knee, does not necessarily mean that I have to rest my upper body as well. So for any athlete that is wanting to get back to field of play, we can still do a lot with our arms and upper body while we are recovering and resting from the knee. Something else to consider would be, should I splint or brace the injury? Again, this kind of goes back to how severe the injury is and how much rest do we really need from the injury. It's going to depend. And so again, depending on how severe the injury is, a doctor or a physical therapist can kind of help coach you through what is appropriate and what is not appropriate as far as bracing an injured area. Another question that we get during this stage of healing is, what do we do about heat and ice? Traditionally, ice has been viewed very highly during the acute stage of healing because it has been shown to help reduce inflammation to the area. Again, it's going to be dependent upon how much inflammation do you already have. Do we have too much inflammation? Do we need to get rid of some inflammation? Again, this is going to be helpful for a physical therapist or a doctor to kind of coach you through. But ice can help with how much blood flow is coming to the area, as well as make something more comfortable while we are in the healing process. Another topic we need to consider during this stage of healing is the topic of pain. How much pain should I be having? Pain is a very normal experience during the acute phase of healing. During this phase, though, we need to be very mindful of the activities that we are doing to make sure that we are not adding to our painful experience during this phase. During the later phases, we might be more willing to go into a little bit more pain, and we'll talk about that later. But during this phase, it's pretty common for us to say we're going to do things and we want to try to really keep pain minimal during this specific phase of healing. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you guys have any questions or any other topics you would like us to cover, go ahead and write those down in the comments below. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day.